All right, are we ready?
We are ready. Back to the old way.
I'm so happy to clap again.
Lon likes the clap.
He's got the clap.
I'm pointing to you.
He's like, there was that time in college.
Do you see what I'm doing?
I heard you clap.
Okay.
Now you're drawing attention to it.
Oh my god.
Welcome, everybody. We are back to the original way things were. I'm announcing it. I don't know why I turned into a robot there.
Oh my God.
I'm announcing it. What was it? Small Wonder? Do you remember Small Wonder?
Oh, I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of what I sounded like there. Anyway, I am one of your hosts, Logan Lynch, of this awesome podcast called Midnight Movie Distillery.
I'm another one of your hosts.
No, we do
skipper?
the original, and then we'll come back to
I'm
that.
another one of your hosts, Warwick Price.
And I'm Lon Black, but yet we have
very special guest.
Gasp.
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 Mini Logan,
Hi.
a.k.a.
Gasp.
Mia.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Well, she can announce herself.
Oh, okay.
She's
No.
an adult. She's like 35. She can.
Yeah. I'm old enough.
Yeah.
Okay, you go for
Damn,
it.
dude.
Hi, I'm Minnie. Lynch.
There you go. Good.
Mini Lynch.
God, I messed that up.
That's all right. All right.
So this is our
Anyway.
Finishing the Bottle episode. This is now 2 weeks after the first episode that you saw.
Yes.
As
We have not showered.
As we have not showered.
Or changed.
Yeah, or changed clothes in any way, shape, or form. So, over the last 2 weeks, we've talked about
Thankskilling was one of them.
Thankskilling. Well, I was trying to work out a way of describing it, but
Sure.
let's just say Thankskilling. And then FNAF.
Nice.
FNAF.
Which
It's
for
so
those
You
hard.
who
enunciate
don't
it, though.
know,
That kind
I
of makes it
Fred.
not
It just
cool.
rolled off my tongue. It really did.
You're getting
So
used to it.
we call it finishing the bottle because we try to, if
Already
we
finished.
like the bourbons, we would normally finish one of the bottles. We don't always finish it because we're not alcoholics yet.
I
Yeah.
think
Although we are.
I think when we did the
We're
live
alcoholics
event,
in progress.
Yes, we're getting there.
in learning,
we are not quitters. Anyway,
I
Tutorial
think
stage.
the only time we actually truly did finish the bottle was actually the live event for The Living Dead.
I think so.
Sorry, not The Living Dead, Evil Dead.
Evil Dead. Yeah.
What the
Yes.
fuck? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Even that though. Really?
Yeah,
I think so.
I think we
that's
did.
the only one. We've come close on a couple,
But I think also, I mean, to be honest, I think we also shared that with some of the audience members.
not much
We
though.
did.
Not Kyle, because Kyle
Kyle.
You're
didn't
still
show
pissed at
up.
Kyle.
Kyle called me
Get the
today.
program, Kyle.
Did he really?
He called me today and actually wanted something saved for him.
Fuck you, Kyle.
Fuck you, Kyle.
So the good news about finishing the bottle, it looks like Mia's already done her part.
Yes.
Mia,
So-
slow down, you
But
little
now,
Sorry.
now to
alcoholic.
make it
Sorry.
even worse, I think we have something else we want to
No,
do.
no, it's even worse
Oh.
than that because our friend Lon brought some other bourbons.
Yes, that's what I'm leaning
This
towards.
is what he's leaning toward. So, way to catch up on that.
Yes, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Way to read the room. All right.
It's not that we didn't trust
They didn't trust.
the
Come on,
alcoholic
Costco,
beverages
Everything else at Costco is good.
that Logan was
So-
going to bring.
Let me throw this out there. This is a bourbon I bought a long time ago
Long time.
because
ago.
I saw it back. Do you guys remember when I said I went to Indiana?
Oh my god.
I do.
Indiana. So we're in Chicago. We're in Illinois, and
At 228 West Main Street. Ghoulish Models is right below
that's
us.
very true.
Yes.
I went to Indiana, visited my cousin, and things are way the fuck cheaper out there because we're Illinois. And I bought several bottles of several things. Having said that, I've been dying to break this bitch open for so long.
Okay.
And it ties in a little bit to that shit of a movie, Thankskilling.
I hope it's not shit itself, but
I also hope that.
it's
But-
shit that's been aged for 4 years in a cask.
Well, we're talking Thanksgiving and the Pilgrims.
Sure.
How did the Pilgrims get here?
On
Boats.
ships.
Okay.
No.
How did they
Are you
get
doing what I think you're
Are you,
doing?
are you going to do an ocean
Is it Jefferson?
Jefferson?
Is it? If you did, I'm going to be very, very happy.
What voyage is it?
No,
20,
I don't
27
even care about the voyage.
27, 28, 29, 30, 31.
Oh, is he doing it?
Did
My
we-
age
Did we
going
guess it?
up.
Did we guess?
Oh my god, I see it. I see it.
It's Jefferson Ocean.
Oh my god.
It is, but.
Who's but?
This is voyage 27.
Ooh.
Didn't I say
You
that?
said that.
Yes,
I
you
did
did.
say that.
Yeah.
Cask strength.
Oh. Well, I was going to say, the one I had did not have that label on the side. So
So, Kat, you want to do this side camera?
Oh, sure. I will get the side camera. Oh, wow. Wait, let me get my glasses on. My readers.
The
Oh my
camera does
Lord.
not need
I need to
glasses.
see it, though.
This is a special
118
bottle,
proof.
people.
Wow. 59.2 ABV.
There you go.
There we go. Is it true?
That's not.
That's pretty damn cool.
Wow. I am.
So-
all right. Well, it's been fun. I'll see you guys later. As I taste.
Fork it over,
So
bitch.
this is going to be interesting. We have not had the cask strength. We've all
And-
tried the regular, correct?
Multiple.
So
Yes.
let's explain that. So first of all, we've all been into the.
Well, before we go further,
Jefferson.
Lon always has to outdo me. Thanks. Just want to throw that out there.
Well, normally the bar's preloaded because it's Costco.
Right?
Yeah. Jesus Christ. The funny thing is I'm not complaining. So
Yeah.
it's not a complaint. That's fine with me.
So let's do a little quick research on
Okay.
this thing. Because this is Voyage 27. I've never had a Voyage 27.
Nope.
Which one
24?
did we had? 24
28?
ish.
I've had 24. I've had
No,
28,
24 I think was
26.
the original one.
Wasn't it 26 was the other one or no? 24 and 28.
Because it
for
doesn't.
sure,
It's not per year, right? They don't come
No.
out and
No,
say
no, no.
24 was
It's,
well, obviously not
it's multiple
2024,
voyages
but-
per year.
Okay. Okay.
From Melbourne to Fremantle, the gentle stirring inside the barrels, which is much more agitated, as the sea became rough all the way through the North Australian basin.
Interesting.
So the thing that's interesting about that is like previous voyages that we've had have always seemed to be around
Tropical.
Jamaica.
Yeah.
Tropical.
And so
Well, technically, Australia's tropical. It is tropical because it's close to the meridian. It's just upside down.
well,
That's still tropical.
So when they pour it in the
I-
cask, is it going backwards? Like that's what it-
yeah.
I believe it is actually.
But so the point is, the way we've talked about this in the past is because the Jamaica around that area, it's tropical. We've always talked about the fact that a lot of the moisture in the air, and
Yeah.
is that enabling like
the in and out from the wood.
right, and the
Sucks in
salt,
wood.
the salt and coming into it. But I don't know that. Whilst Australia is a huge continent.
Fucking huge,
So,
yeah.
so for
I
Mia,
don't
who
know.
doesn't know much about the alcohol, aka I probably don't know everything either, but basically what's happening is they took this bourbon and they put it in barrels and they put it on a ship and then drove around, basically in this case Australia, which what we're used to.
I think
is we've
more
had,
floated around. but-
yeah, they drove. Yeah, there's highways on the.
Yeah. Sure.
No, so basically, and then what they're talking about is because it's wood that
Yeah.
these things are sitting in, it will shrink and swell because of the humidity. Now it's way more humid in Jamaica, in
Yeah.
Australia, and things like that. So then that pulls in the actual alcohol. Now, does it hit a saturation point and then it comes back out, or is it because of the?
Well, the point is,
It's-
it's
It's
the
a temperature thing.
yeah, it's
Okay.
it's the moisture that's in the air. So if you're on the ocean and there's lots of moisture in the air, that moisture is going to have salt content.
But that adds to the flavor, not necessarily the expansion and
Oh,
the wood.
absolutely.
Okay.
And what we've always said is it's like, I mean, the very first bottle that we ever had, which I picked up at Costco for all things. I know we made fun of
Yeah,
you just
see?
now
See?
for Costco,
Just,
but
it depends on what you pick up.
But
at
I
Costco.
did not pick Kirkland.
I was hoping. I tried.
I think it was a fair try. It failed
for effort.
miserably.
Oh
but
yeah,
it was
but
a fair try.
We had to do it at some point.
Yeah, I agree.
But the very first bottle that we had, I mean, literally when we opened that bottle and we always we do the smell test and whatever, it's like maybe it was because I was just so enamored with the idea that this is an ocean and we read the story. I smelt the ocean.
Yes.
You could taste
I taste the ocean.
You
Yes.
taste the ocean.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because the salt water from the sea gets into the barrels, and that's
Totally.
what affects the flavor more so than the in and out of the wood.
Right.
The in and out of the wood gets the smoothness, gets the oak flavor, great. But that ocean flavor in there is
Yeah,
what
just that little
makes
bit
it.
of saltiness.
Now,
to it.
I will say, this bottle does say, it is a single barrel,
Wow.
hand selected.
Damn.
Barrel number 71.
We going
this came
fancy
from barrel
now.
number 71. It was bottle 30 from barrel 71.
Damn.
I am so looking forward to this. I've
I
had
was
this
hoping
for-
we would have waited for maybe a Jaws movie review.
Well,
for that.
I-
but
True.
I
Now you
tried to
got-
wait.
I think what you
I
need to
got
look at is
so-
Lon had so little hope.
that we would ever get to a Jaws. Yeah. I see.
Well, no.
Oh.
Of your choices.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So he's trying to
I-
cleanse the palate with a good one. I get it.
Honestly, again, You had two very good
I
choices there.
100% agree. It's
I
like
think you did very
I
well.
definitely think the Russells is by far the stronger. On by the time I got to the bottom of my glass, I did not hate. That was a long pause for the audio people. I didn't. I actually liked the Brothers Bond one.
I liked it more than the Russells.
Oh, definitely not.
I because it's the rye that I like.
Gotcha.
However,
Comma.
this is not a rye.
No.
This is a full-fledged
Bourbon.
Bourbon, single barrel straight bourbon whiskey. Now let me throw this in it too. It's 59.2% alcohol.
Wow.
That means it's 118.
all good.
It's 118 proof.
Yeah, this
Damn.
sounded very strong.
But it's Voyage 27. I've never had Voyage 27. I'm giddy with anticipation.
Wait.
Oh.
Get the pop. Yeah. Oh.
Did you hear that little squeal?
Yeah.
at the front?
Yeah,
Oh.
there was some liquid in there.
That
Yeah.
was a squeal.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the smell. This is gonna smell like Australia.
Which normally would be
you don't know if you want
crime
that.
and
You'd be like,
sweat.
Is that kangaroo?
Yeah.
It smells like criminals.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. Spoken as a Brit.
Let's see.
Ooh, even the
Oh,
cork,
it's not as,
even the cork, you know, they really good
I was
cork.
expecting more pungency here.
It is
Oh.
light, but
Yeah, I mean,
Do I need to
smell the
smell
cork
cork
when you
more?
smell the when you smell the bell.
smell some cork.
Yeah.
There's nothing like the smell
Are
of
you a
cork.
cork soaker?
Put that cork up your nose.
Yeah, put that cork up your nose or in your mouth.
I'm still not. Do I have COVID? No. Yeah, I mean it's like a hint, but but it's not as I don't know. I'm gonna have to wait for the flavor.
Mr. Lynch, could you pass me a glass?
Glass coming.
Now, because it's cast strength, I'm going lighter than Logan pour.
Yes.
Logan Light. That looks light. All right, now let's.
I was
get the
being
good-
generous to you.
It just smells good. Like
It
it's
smells
not
great.
Like I'm not getting a burn. All right, I'll keep my.
But
Is there an age?
I will say I don't smell that initial ocean smell that I absolutely remember from that very first bottle that we had.
Mind you, though, this is literally from a single barrel.
Yeah, so we should get that.
Single barrel went through Australia, and it's as much as you'd want to deny it. It's tropical.
So does this mean because we've had this, we're going to
Wow.
be more critical of it? Is going to be my
It's
question.
possible. Look. Just because it says it was a Jefferson Voyage, doesn't mean it's going to be good.
That has a lot of burn to it.
Did you bite it or drink it already?
Yes.
Bite
that's I bit the glass.
bit-
Sounds like
You.
it bit him.
It's
I-
cast strength, man.
I am agreeing with the burn.
Way more burn than I expected.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's hot.
Yeah.
Yes. Is that an Australian thing?
Holy shit.
You can say it.
It was,
Crikey.
it was on the Barbie.
Oh man. That was,
Holy shit.
Way hotter than I expected.
welcome back, Mia.
Thanks.
Previously. On finishing the bottle.
Holy shit. I was not expecting.
No. I know.
That's gonna
right?
wake you up.
This
Okay.
This is going to put
Are
feathers
you on your second or third?
feathers on your chest.
Second.
Okay. I
Give
don't
me-
get as
we-
much the burn on the second one. So
Really?
keep going.
No, I mean, I think this is 4. It definitely goes down. You are correct.
Fuck.
So by burn, we literally mean it's like a
The hot
that's like eating a
alcohol.
jalapeno, to be honest.
Well, and the point is, it's like unlike the peppery taste from Brothers Bond, which is like an initial kind of like
Yeah.
there's some spiciness to that. This is
Yeah.
burn that goes like all the way down the
Yes. Yeah. It's in the mouth.
It holds
all the way
it.
down.
It holds it.
That's
All right, I'm on my third. I'm going to go for the third. You guys do third?
I'm already done with my third.
That,
He's
that,
like,
was,
really?
that was 4.
so do we want to? Let's do a rating. We'll do a rating and then talk
Yeah,
about it.
give me a third.
You do your thing. Should have got you another pop.
Nah, it's alright.
Different one.
Sody. My Sodies.
Sody.
Ew.
That was that. My what was her name?
Who?
The heavy girl that the trailer park.
The heavy
people-
girl. Was she a real fat girl?
Who?
Oh yeah, she was a big fat.
Was she a real fat girl?
They got all famous for being like trailer park trash.
What?
Catch you
Be
outside.
more specific.
Oh god. Oh no, I'm sorry. Wait, I take that back. She was the Sodies one was the 400 or 600 pound sisters.
Yeah.
And she called them Sodies. It was
Sodies.
pop, but she called them Sodies. All
I want my sodies.
Samsonite, I was way off.
Yeah,
Anyway,
you were. Yeah.
never mind.
I don't watch those kind of programs.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
No, I don't.
right.
I do and I don't remember it. Ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
Wait. Okay.
I think I did it right. Yep, I did.
Logan.
2.5.
3.
2.5.
Okay.
Wow.
So
Well, we're all. I mean, technically, we're like
We're
almost.
all-
1 point
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
Right.
now the reason
0.1 difference,
the
I guess.
reason I gave it a 2.5 is this is not what I remember.
Too fucking hot.
I agree.
It is
Too fucking
way too hot, and I'm honestly very upset by that. Now,
I also am
even
very upset.
after the second and third, as it waned off, it still is. There's just too much
So
power.
one of the
behind
things
this.
I look
Yeah.
for after the heat is that aftertaste. It's got a little bit more smoothness to it. I never got it.
No, it was just constant heat.
I get that.
all
I
the
got
way.
this bad taste in my mouth afterwards. That's not
I have never had a cast strength
that disappointed like
Yeah,
I think what we're saying is Australia sucks.
this. Well,
the humidity does at least.
the humidity, right? If this would have gone around the
Now,
tropics,
if you had to guess, what could be the cause? Well, you probably know this, but what causes that burn?
But
Is
no,
that because of the
because
cast
it's
strength?
cast strength.
But
It's 118 proof.
we've had other cast strengths that are at the World of Whiskeys
That's true.
that were
That's true.
probably at that
Smoke
percentage.
Monster.
I
Smoke
think
Monster for one,
Smoke Monster
You're
or Peat
right.
Monster.
because that was cat Peat Monster.
Peat Monster.
Peat
Yeah.
Monster, because it was
The
a
cast strength, but that one had a burn and then it smoothed out. Like this one is just burn,
So-
burn.
Let me give you a little insight to the cask strength, or basically the strength in general. When you do a bourbon or whiskey in general, you find the magic point of distillation that makes it perfect. That could be 80 proof, that could be 90 proof, that
Right.
could be 100 proof.
Yep.
It's different for every recipe. And typically, just because it says cask strength does not mean it's better
No.
than the original. It just means it's stronger than the original. Typically, that translates to more flavor. Not always. This case, it does not translate to more flavor. It's just hotter.
Yeah.
When it comes to other ones that we've had in the past, a cask strength had more flavor, but it's all Whiskey Tribe. We've talked about Whiskey Tribe in the past. We love you guys. Thank you very much for mentioning us. But
They did.
Did they?
They
didn't.
don't. They don't know. They don't know
I'm
who
like,
the
what?
fuck
He's
we are.
hoping.
They
He's
have no
hopeful.
idea who the fuck we are.
But we'd
But-
love you if you did.
When Whiskey Tribe does things, they take stuff and they distill weirdest things, the stupidest things, and Twinkies, and they try to make a liquor out of them. But the point is, they take all the different proofs and line them up, and then they taste them. It says, it sucks at 70 proof, sucks at 80 proof, sucks at 90 proof, but 94.5 proof, it's perfect. 100 proof, bad. 110 proof, bad. So they find the magic flavor point profile for that heat versus sweetness versus flavor balance.
So is that the master distiller picking that point?
Technically, it always is.
Okay.
A lot of times there's marketing involved. When marketing gets involved, you can't sell anything. Bourbon by default has to be between certain proofs,
Right.
right? So they can still call it a bourbon, but it'll be a cask strength bourbon.
Gotcha.
Right? They got to differentiate between it. But sometimes people buy cask strength because then, great, I can mix it with soda water. I can do with it. I can put an ice cube in and it'll still be flavorful. A lot of times people who drink it with Coke will get cask strength Jack Daniels
Just remind me.
because they could put it with a Coke and you'll still taste the whiskey.
I'm gonna do the water.
I'm also going to try that because
I'm just
I'm
intrigued.
so incredibly disappointed with the cask strength.
Now,
of whiskey I know is good.
Will they, if they do another Jamaican voyage, are they going to continue to call those 24, Voyage 24 then?
I don't think so.
No, I think-
Or
I
is it going to be a new voyage?
I
It'll
think
be
it's
Voyage
literally,
35,
I think
but
it's
they'll
literally
say.
a different voyage.
They
Okay,
can
so
go back to the same region, but it'll be a different ship.
But it'll be a different voyage number too,
Right.
though, correct?
But
Okay.
but so to kind of like continue on from what you were saying before, and this kind of goes full circle to our very first episode. I wonder how much marketing kind of does play into
Water does burn.
some of the decisions that they make. In other words, like, do you think it's possible that they do have such a following, and such a following of people that go, oh my god, it's like, I've had 24 and 25, I haven't had 26, 27. Oh, I got a 27. Like, I'll get that, even if it was
It
the
got
cast
me.
strength. Well,
Yeah.
exactly. In other words, it's like, you made the comment of the fact that it's the master distiller that's making those decisions. I wonder how much they're like, yeah, this one didn't really work out. I know. Let's get it to a point where we can say it's cast strength, and
Do they
label
have a non-cast
and
strength
label on that.
27?
I haven't seen one.
Okay.
They may.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they don't.
Right.
I haven't seen it.
In all honesty, I could see a non-cask strength being possibly better than.
So you
Well,
added
right.
water and I added water. What do you think?
It definitely brought down the.
It brought down the burn.
By a
I
lot.
taste more of the original flavor.
Yes.
I never do
Yes.
this.
I know. I rarely do it, but it needed it.
I think cask strength may be this version of cask strength may be ice cube centric. You need a cube.
Today was
Today
a
was
good, good day.
I was thinking the same thing.
What'd you say?
Today was a good day.
Yeah.
Today was a good day.
No, not Australian.
No. Well, he's trying to like tie it in, I think. Cube.
By doing an
So Ice Cube was a rapper in the night.
Ice cube?
Ice Cube.
Cube of ice?
Yes.
Yes.
There was
It
a
a
guy
nice
named
reference.
Ice Cube. What a
Yes.
stupid fucking
There's
name.
also an iced tea.
Yes.
Anyway.
So if Ice Cube and Ice
An
Tea
ice
got together,
spice.
would they be a
Yeah.
tea cube?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyway. So, all right. So let's tie this into. Would you say, would this have been a better bourbon to have with Thankskilling? Based on how. Did you have high hopes going into Thankskilling,
yeah.
or did you already assume it was going to be a bad movie?
Oh no. I've seen Thanksgiving before.
Correct. But I'm saying even before your first time seeing it, did you see a trailer that made you want to see it, or was it just, oh, let me add that to my.
No, it was a stupid looking movie. I thought
The fact that it had killing in the title.
Yeah, and it shows a killer turkey.
it was a turkey.
Yeah.
Killer turkey. I had to watch it.
gobble gobble.
Gobble gobble, motherfucker.
I'm way more looking forward to Eli Roth's version of
Oh
Thanksgiving
God,
Thanksgiving.
can't wait.
than this.
I'm-
Because
I'm-
Eli Roth, I know, is a good director.
I'm
This
actually.
guy was a piece of shit.
Hey,
Wow.
Come
Sorry-
at me, bro. Come
sorry,
at me.
Jordan.
Come at me, bro.
Downey. Was it Downey? John Downey?
no, Jordan.
But let me throw this at you. I
Jordan
think
Downey.
both of
You
those
all right?
bourbons are better than
I think
this.
it's Robert's
okay.
brother.
You heard it here. I actually had two good picks. So.
Better picks than this.
I honestly, but see now, this is the one thing is I can't even say that like the first Jeffersons, like I didn't. I went into this. I don't know if that's just because we've trained ourselves up to this point, but I went into this understanding that this is a different voyage, this is a different thing, and I was let down.
So,
also was let
so I'll go further to say, every Jefferson I had, because I had the bottle I ultimately bought for you, and then I've been to
Which is Toy Fudge 24, I think.
a bar which I think I had like, I think it was like an 18 or 19, and
Voyage 18 or 19?
yeah.
No
And that was amazing, and the one that we had was amazing. And when we went to last year's World of Whiskies, we had one there that was amazing.
Oh no, you weren't at last year's. It was the year before.
Okay, the year before.
You were at this year's.
This year's. Oh, that's true.
That's this year.
2023.
Hence, I said last year.
Yeah.
And so, like, to be honest, I was super excited when you brought this out.
I was
and
as
the
well.
and the fact that it was cast strength, which typically means that it is a better quality
Or more robust, if nothing else.
right. I was disappointed. I mean,
As was I.
yes,
Sort of like we were about these movies. That's a nice little
Oh,
segue.
interesting.
No,
Some of us were.
I think we can qualify this as there was disappointing, and then there was fuck me. That was disappointing.
Now, that was, I'm assuming, more towards Thankskilling
Yes.
than
So
Five
what's the
Nights at
common
Freddy's.
thread between these two movies? Because one was a high budget, high fan base
Yes.
movie.
True.
The other one was a no budget, no fan base movie.
I think the correlation between them is the fact that if you think about it, the Five Nights at Freddy's series itself started off pretty low budget, right? It was a single person that was making a game.
It was an independent game studio.
So
100%.
I think that's a good correlation.
Computer
Is-
based only. Not
yeah,
even a
and
console?
there was nothing behind it other than it was just scares, jump scares, and you
Not even jump scares. To me, the Five Nights at Freddy's. To me, Favnef.
you kidding me?
FNAF.
FNAF.
I think you added a few characters in there.
Yeah, FNAF.
What is it?
That's a
FNAF.
FNAF. FNAF was a computer game that was more eerie and closed and not jump scares, but
I got the jump
terror.
scare.
There were jump scares.
Yeah,
Sure, but it's
But,
mostly like
yeah.
anticipation.
you were saying that. Okay, because even when I knew it was coming, it still scared the shit out of me.
Right,
the jump scare did.
It's whenever you have and good movies do the same thing, but whenever you have a movie
As opposed to Five Nights at Freddy. Five Nights
like
of Freddy.
it is such a trope of you have a dark environment where you have a flashlight.
Yeah, which is a great...
Which typically
yeah.
you do a great job of that.
Very
I mean,
eerie.
the movie Seven is a perfect example of that, where it's
Yep.
like, you're going around this dark environment, and all you're seeing is what's being illuminated by the flashlight, and then the perfect thing that Seven does certainly is then, of course, the classic flashlight. You're shaking
yep.
because the flashlight
Battery's
isn't
dying,
working all
whatever.
the time.
Right. It's happening.
And I think FNAF does that like perfectly, where it's like it's that classic point where it's like
The game or the movies we're talking about?
the game.
Okay,
Clearly the game.
Does that perfect.
just want to clarify.
And I think you do get you do get a little bit of that in the movie, particularly when Mike is trying to escape from it, and like he's going through the air conditioning tunnels. Which, by the way, just as a typical thing, I'm not an HVAC guy, but are all HVAC tunnels
huge. They're human size,
big
right?
enough for humans
No,
to
the
drive?
other
No.
complaint
To
I
walk
have
through?
about
That's
that.
a reference to the sister location game, so you crawl through the vents.
Yeah.
The thing is the other thing I noticed, which they kind of got into that, was even in the beginning, the guys crawling through, and I'm like, how are these so fucking clean? This thing, even if it's just a regular building, there's no way it can be that clean. And then he at one point looks up, and then you see spider webs and cops. I'm like, okay, but why is it everything he's crawling through is clean?
Yeah.
Well,
because that stuff is filthy.
And I get the fact that Steve Raglan does make point of like, there's two things you have to do, and one of them is keep it clean. I guarantee you, as much as I can guarantee you, that was like a test screening that someone said, why is everything clean?
Yeah.
So clean.
Yeah, maybe throw in some CGI of a cobweb here and there.
Right, but it's like, why would you have this building that was so relatively clean, considering it hadn't been in use for like 20
30
years?
yeah.
20, 30 years. Well, again, technically, because this is 2000.
I thought it was 90s more reference.
15 or 20 years.
Yeah,
Right?
but the point is, it's like, why is everything working? Why is everything so clean? And so I think that was such a kind of a throwaway part in the job description, that like, as a security guy, you also have to clean. That, and the fact that the other thing I thought was like ridiculous about the movie, finishing the bottle has now become like really talking about FNAF, but is the fact that
Thankskilling sucked.
so apparently you don't need a security card during the day.
Apparently not. Yeah.
You only need them at night. I've never actually.
That's a really good point.
I've never worked at a place that has really had a security guard, but like, if it's a derelict place, wouldn't you think that you'd need to have it?
You're
Like,
right.
24
the
hours a
security
day.
guard leaves
So-
at dawn.
6 o'clock in the
Here-
morning, because
this
like,
is just
he
a
had his
theory,
alarm.
a film theory. No, a theory I have about that is technically Vanessa's job throughout the day was to be patrolling. And so
But she was also there in the middle of the night, so she
well,
worked
that's what I mean.
24 hours a
That
day.
was supposedly after her
24
shift at that
hours.
point, right? And that was kind of what we mentioned in the other episode. Please go watch it. About FNAF was that I originally thought she's going to be a ghost because there's no reason for her to be hanging out building
Since she doesn't
forts.
sleep at all.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, why is she, obviously he sleeps throughout the day, goes there for his night shift, why is she working all day and hanging out with them for hours and hours on end afterwards? I just thought that was kind of weird oddity there, but that would make sense to me is, hey, maybe she, during the day, that's her patrol, she's got to go through there, she checks it, and then at night he comes in and then she goes home and goes to bed, so to speak.
Right.
So that's my theory on that.
That makes sense as to why you think she was dead.
Yeah.
But obviously there were too many
But then
loopholes.
also could be why she came by. Well, I got to make sure he's here. This is like once he's there.
so I can go
now I
away.
can go home, right? And then she kind of took a liking to him. So.
Knowing that he might die.
Yeah, knowing
Knowing
the
he will
intention
die.
is if you. Well, she tried to warn him. That's how I took it. Was she warned him that if you do what you're supposed to do, you'll be fine. You start straying from that, and that's where.
Like follow the yellow brick
And
road.
she found out that his brother
house fell
was
on him.
killed.
Yeah, and she
by
also
her
found out
dad.
that he had a little sister. That's why she also
Yeah.
got really mad.
But he's
She
dead.
didn't know.
Her name was
It's her
Abby.
dad.
Abby
Her
Norman.
dad is the one killing everybody.
Yeah.
When do you decide that?
And you're a
Dad,
police
it's probably
officer.
not good to kill kids.
I wish she would have had something. He had something over her because to me,
Right.
it felt like she could have just easily at any point been like, I don't want to deal with this. I'm sick of protecting you.
Well, so the thing actually
Should've been a long
didn't
time
get,
ago.
and I should have brought this up in the FNAF episode. It is see how much that rolled off my tongue.
Yeah, you're getting there. I love. Now you pointed it out. Now you're not cool anymore.
Yeah, you just lost all street cred you gained.
So, in the movie, they talk about the fact that it's like, oh, they were the location was investigated, but they didn't find anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because they didn't think to look in the things.
Right, but just
Because why would you?
I guess, but like really, there was no blood. There was no like anything else that would go along with the kidnapping. I mean, they didn't
Why
have.
are these animatronics moving on their
Well,
own?
so that's my
Right.
question then is, like, they could have gone a little deeper then and said maybe the spring traps didn't dig into them right away. It just was enough to compress them from screaming. Right, you could have said
Well,
that
and you also
the things
see-
pressed on their legs so they could, you
Well,
can't scream.
and
right?
you also see when William Afton does get spring locked, he doesn't bleed at all.
That's
True,
right.
'cause
Well,
it does, like, it's
He
like holding you
screams kind of, but he doesn't bleed.
right.
Mm.
And he's sitting in the room in the storage room at the end too, and he's still not bleeding.
Mm.
He's choking, but
I-
Is the mechanism soaking up the blood?
he's
Ooh, maybe.
internally
It's just-
bleeding.
It's just metal.
Maybe.
I mean, like there's no.
there's got to be
But
something.
it's like
metal,
state of
but
the
it's
art.
like magic metal.
Maybe
right?
it's like
Yes, supposed to be
it's like in the
magic.
Blade movies where like it's you're going down a trough into a certain
or
area, which is
yeah,
Maybe.
or also because whoever was
essence.
cleaning there before maybe was
they're
working
like,
for him.
oh, this blood.
Or they had what's her name, Vanessa cleaning for him, and that's why she's always there.
So I
That's
get
the
it
one.
because there was also the part where like when the guys go in, the babysitter guys go in and like mess the place up.
Guys.
There's the part where like his handprint is on the
Yeah, and then it's just magically gone.
well, but you see. Like on the bottom of the window frame, you see blood on the
blood,
bottom
yeah.
of the window frame,
But
but you
his
don't see it on
handprint's
his
gone.
handprint. So that's either Vanessa or Steve Raglan that
Yeah.
is going in and
Yeah.
cleaning it up. The other thing that I totally forgot to talk about in the
That's why
FNAF
we have
movie
these episodes.
is I used to have such a crush on Mary Stuart Masterson. It's like, and I think
she wasn't in this movie, was she?
Yes,
yeah, she was the aunt.
the ant. Yeah.
I
On.
didn't even catch that.
Really? Oh my god!
realize
I like some kind of wonderful was like, oh my god, I
love-
love.
Some kind of wonderful for you.
Oh my god, I love that movie.
Yeah.
But I just
Mary
think
Sue Masterson, she was really the aunt.
she was the aunt,
I think he's very.
and she was
attractive.
fucking hot.
I missed that.
She was still
I
hot.
hated her though. She played her part a little too well.
Yeah.
But I mean,
God.
Let's be honest.
but I guess
I'm
my
glad she
point,
died.
Interesting.
and I'm gonna pass the torch to you because it's like she seemed like such a throwaway character.
Yeah.
Unless that was part of the movie, part of the game.
They were talking about referencing Aunt. They said something. It was Aunt. Not Aunt Jane. It was Aunt. What's her name? Aunt Jane.
I think it's Jane in the movie.
Because it was originally Aunt Jan.
Oh, okay.
In a game or in a book or something, and they were saying,
Jan, yeah,
and they were saying that it was Aunt Jan in like a book or a movie or something, and they were saying she was originally a character, but she was much nicer, and like she ended up dying. I'm pretty sure, but I don't know why they added that in there. I really never really thought of her as a character in the movie.
Because it just seemed like a weird storyline.
Yeah.
That the daughter or his sister rather, because there's points where she's talking about the fact that she's like, like she's mental, she's like mentally disabled or whatever. Which in itself seemed like weird. And then the whole thing of like her trying to claim custody, and he made reference to the fact that the state pays a certain amount of money,
but she looked well off compared to him.
Yeah,
so I
right.
Didn't
The fact
understand
she's
why.
hiring an attorney.
Yeah,
I
love the attorney.
I thought the attorney was great. Like
I felt so bad for
when
him.
they're in the diner. He goes,
he's super happy.
I shouldn't be here.
I should leave.
And they said the only time he smiled was when he went to get the food.
Right.
And then they took it away, and it was sad.
But I just think, again, and this is our kind of link to Thankskilling, it's just like that seemed like a really superfluous part to the movie.
They got another kill out of it, right?
True.
I mean, they did that, but I hated her character. I didn't like that, but they kind of had to have that in there for him to force him into taking the job.
Right.
Because I'm sure he wouldn't have. He could have probably, maybe lived off of food stamps for a little while.
But they could have easily switched that by when he goes to Steve Raglan as the career counselor. He's like, "Hey, I've got this job for you. It's really good paying. It pays well."
Yeah, but I think that was a throwback to the original. Because if I remember correctly, the first game they even say this. You're not making much money being
they
here,
did
but
say
it's an
Phone
easy
guy
job. You're just sitting here staring at monitors, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think that's the other thing is. Then I felt like that would have dragged a little too much attention to Raglan if he's like trying to get it, like where he made it seem like, I got this job. You didn't want it, but here's my card if you want to.
But that also kind of plays into again. I think something that we did talk about in that episode. There really wasn't. I think they missed an entire opportunity of the fact that you had those monitors, but I don't remember a single point where you actually see something happening on those monitors.
You see the guy running away from one of those,
right.
But nothing major.
When the guys broke in.
But they don't show any of them on it or anything, which...
And that was one of the things that scared the crap out of me playing the game was when you would flip to that monitor and you saw something run by. You're like,
or their face is like
to me,
right here.
that was a total missed opportunity.
They didn't do that in the movie.
Completely agree.
Because and especially as they made like a big point of talking about the fact that he's like somewhat in this kind of like dazed state because he's taking the sleeping pills and stuff. It's like that was an opportunity to have him like kind of wake up and go. Like what did I see just right?
Was
right
I
there.
sleeping or was I? Yeah. Did I
Right.
just legitimately see that?
And I think that was like a totally missed opportunity. And again, we should have brought this up in the other movie, in the other episode. But it's like I get that. Like maybe you're desperate enough that you just take the job because here's someone who's offering you a job. But it's like at some point. I would hope that I would look at that and go, so this place has been derelict for this long, but the security system works seemingly perfectly.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. They could have even played that into, he's staring at some of the monitors. One of the monitors goes out and he goes and fixes it, right? Like,
Absolutely.
Something like he's got to, hey, this is broken, but I got to make it work.
Way more opportunity for them to get into more of the video game sort of tension that they didn't touch.
And then he could have heard something. I mean, it was a missed opportunity, but it was also, like I said, I'm hoping it's a long-term maybe he's going to come out with a TV show or something. You know what I mean?
But
Like,
see, but that's my problem with this whole thing is that you got to have a movie stand alone, because if you make the first movie suck, nobody's going to come back for the second movie.
yeah. I think he's got a strong enough fan base though that they're going to come back.
Yeah.
And then if you slap an
They're
R rating on
Bet
that,
a lot of money on that.
We're gonna
There's
have
gonna
high
be-
hopes for that.
he made a lot of money.
I would almost,
Yeah.
I would go
Yes,
as far
you
as
did,
saying
alright.
I almost guarantee you that the next one will be R-rated, but simply because of the fact that it's like, you know, Jason Blum is looking this as, hey, we took a risk, quote unquote, a risk on this movie by making it PG-13. We captured all that fan base
Yep.
that got to see it as a PG-13.
And they're the ones saying we need an R-rated movie, right?
Right.
Like I guarantee you, every one of those people are going, "Wasn't that gory? Wasn't
Right.
that scary?"
Well,
Right.
but
Wasn't that
because
scary?
again, even if you talk about the people who are playing the game from that original, what do we say, 2013, 2014?
2014.
Timeline, like to today,
Today, Junior.
it's like, you know, anyone who's in that 13 to 16 age range, your average parent is probably going to go, it's an R-rated movie.
Yeah.
I'm probably still going to
R-rated nowadays is nothing.
Right. Well, and it's
Not
We were pushing
PG-13.
NC-17 back in my
Right,
day.
it's-
well,
NC-17.
and especially I think the assumption would be, if you've watched the original, that's PG-13, and you now have it as an R-rated movie, you know that R-rated is probably because of gore and horror. It's
Sure.
not because of sex,
Sure.
you know, and things that maybe
Which is sad that we're at that state where I feel like, you know, you see a lot worse on the news than you do in some of these movies.
and
right?
that's the whole thing, right?
So-
And it's but it's funny, like, you know, the argument goes both ways. It's like, you know, there's things that we would rate as PG-13 in the 80s that today would be rated as R-rated.
Yeah.
You know, Poltergeist is the classic. But I mean,
Oh, good
Was that the one
point.
they created the rating system because of?
absolutely,
Poltergeist?
PG-13 got
It is
created because of it.
Yeah.
There was PG, and
Very
then there
good.
was, and then there was R.
right? Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
But so I have hope. I think that there probably was, you know, going into the creation of this movie, there probably was enough thought that there will be a follow-on, you know, a sequel or multiple sequels from this movie, because obviously the video games have done like incredibly well. That I'm going to agree with what your synopsis of like why the PG-13. I think the PG-13 was to create the client base that would come back for the second movie.
Sure.
You know?
And as being that client base, what do you think? Do you think they need to have the more gore and the more scares?
Yeah, because it was disappointing to watch without that. Because that was the whole point of the games, was the scare and the horror, and that
Right.
was not shown in the movie.
You
Yeah,
don't
I think
play
this
that
was more
game
of the
unless you wanna
story.
be the scare and the
Exactly.
horror.
And it
Yeah.
was, that game was what caused me to like really get into horror, because I really liked when I felt like the scare when they would jump out at random points, or you'd see it on the camera and the power would go off. I
Yeah, that
Otherwise, might as well
tension,
play
yeah.
Mario Brothers
Yeah.
or Mario Kart.
yeah.
And it's funny. So you just said a perfect thing, which I think is, we get a lot of kids in the store, Ghoulish Models, 228 West Main Street. Good segue. Thank you. And a lot of them come in because they've watched FNAF, and it's like, you know, they feel that they're accustomed to like the horror that
Yes.
creates. And so, you know, it's like I applaud Scott.
Cawthon.
Thank you, Scott Backer.
Oh man!
I love Quantum League. Quantum League was
was
such a
good.
fucking great
Have you
movie.
seen the new one?
He snuck
Anyway.
that
I
in.
didn't like
didn't-
that quite
Yeah,
so
that
much.
is great.
But the point is, it's like, I think the idea of creating, you know, a horror-based game and creating it in a world that is really geared towards kids. You know, FNAF kind of created this whole genre of horror-based
Yep.
games.
Yeah.
The whole you know, Killy Willy and Kissy
Killy Willy?
Kissy Missy and
Oh. Huggy Wuggy.
Huggy Wuggy and
What the fuck are you talking about?
It's, Poppy's
Are you
Playtime.
Poppy's-
seizuring?
Poppy's Playtime.
Okay.
It's a game.
Wow.
You know, it's these are these games that are like, you know,
They're based off of FNAF.
you know, it's like the horror
inspired.
inspired.
They're like
Inspired is
Yeah.
the perfect
Yeah,
word.
inspired.
Because it's like, you know, FNAF kind of created this idea of saying, hey, you can have these kids characters that ultimately are doing horrible things that in the games it's more presumed that something bad ultimately happens. You don't really see it. Sure, in the later games you actually see a lot more, but those original games were very much like, you know, you just assume that something
It was face here, scream, and you're like, ah, and
Right,
that was
right.
The end of it. You didn't need to see but the one thing the thing that I'll applaud Scott with is that he touched on. I know damn well, you know, I don't think you guys had that type of stuff overseas, but when I was in a Chuck E. Cheese, I always remember as soon as that curtain closed, I always wondered, what the fuck do they do back there?
And
You know
that's
what I
what
mean?
FNAF got you. Like,
And that's why they
thinking.
got me for that, because I always go, man, I always
Sure.
thought them some bitches were either somebody in a suit
Yep.
or, you know, and he nailed that on the head.
Yeah.
But and that's where I was a little frustrated with the movie, because I think he just tried to please too many
But
people.
I think everybody thought that. That's why Willy's Wonderland came out. That's
Right.
why.
Oh,
Five Nights at
they-
Freddy
they-
and
they-
all that
And
is-
they
what
totally
was that
be-
other
be-
piece of crap that came out?
You got to be more specific.
Oh god.
Thankskilling.
Nope. Well, that too. No, there was the other animatronic. God, I can't. It
Oh,
pissed
Walton
me off.
Files.
Hmm?
Walton
What?
Files. Oh,
Wait,
you guys.
what?
Walton Files. It's like
That's
a
not what I was
YouTube.
thinking of.
Okay, sorry
There
about
was
that.
a-
Sorry about
what
that.
the fuck is that?
Hold on.
It's
hold on.
very gory.
It's the old TV
It's
show
on YouTube.
They-
Oh no.
yes. thank
Banana
you.
Splits.
Banana. Oh,
Oh,
Jesus
the
Christ. That's how
Banana
bad it was.
Split.
Yes. No,
All
no.
right, but that
but,
was different. Banana
but
Split
it's
weren't
animatronic-ish.
but you're 100% correct. You're 100% correct.
They weren't
Because the point is, what they decided to do with that movie was take beloved characters,
Yes.
Um,
And flip it on its head.
and make them horror.
yeah.
But they
Almost
they
like that dreadful-
retrofitted the animatronic into them because they weren't animatronic.
Yeah.
No,
Originally.
and they weren't animatronic in the movie. But the point is, like, somewhat, and this kind of all ties back to all of the episodes that clearly you people are watching. Yeah, Winnie the Pooh,
Blood and Honey.
Blood and Honey. You know, in other words,
Speaking
you take beloved characters, and you turn them into horror characters.
Mean One. But the
Yes.
the Mr.
We
Grinch
haven't done
movie?
Mr. Grinch yet.
No.
No.
It will be coming up though.
I was gonna say, hey,
That-
we're heading into
December's
that.
not too far around the
That's
corner.
on the list.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should. Yeah, it's Walton Files was basically just a big bunch of YouTube like videos that people were taking of like fake VHS tapes, and were of another thing like FNAF, where it was like in a pizzeria and they had animatronics and things like that, but it was much more gory than FNAF, and it was much more like the storyline was a little bit less. There was like a little bit
Interesting.
less of a storyline.
Walton Files.
Walton
All right.
Files.
All right,
have to
now I
look
gotta
that up.
look
You
that
know,
up.
you know, Chuck E. Cheese is discontinuing their animatronics.
Mm.
Discontinue. I heard they were bringing them back.
What?
Yes,
Yeah.
they brought them back because of FNAF.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that would make sense.
So they
Wait a
discontinued
minute,
them.
wait a minute. That makes sense.
Yes.
They come
I
up
wanna
with a
Yeah.
movie
scare the
about
Well, that's what I mean. I'm like,
animatronics
they're
killing
like,
children.
now the kids are going to show up.
Bring it
Now the
back.
kids, do you know what they're doing? They're probably going to make them like super tough, because the kids are going to start trying to kick the shit out of them.
Yeah.
They're like,
But
you're not getting me.
But
you know?
it'd be so funny if they play the romantic song.
Yes.
Like
The
as the
secret
thing.
that you keep.
Oh, I
That'd be
can't-
funny.
So
Yeah.
so one of my buddies at
that.
work, he had the opportunity to buy the animatronics from Showbiz Pizza,
That would have been awesome.
and they'd already been converted, because a lot of people have converted these animatronics so that you can basically program them
Any song.
yourself.
Yep.
And it was like $20,000 to buy all of the characters where
Wow, that's actually a good deal.
and they were in really good condition, and you could have like, it was like doing like rap songs and stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know, like Ice Cube.
Yep. There you go.
Throwback. Today,
You know who Ice Cube is?
today was a good
Does
day.
anybody out there know who Ice Cube is?
Of course they do.
You think they
Everyone
knows who
except
Ice
you
Cube
does.
No, I know who Ice Cube is.
Yes.
He solved murders in L.A. or something. Right?
That was
That was Ice-T.
Ice-T.
Even I know the
Thank
difference.
God. Thank God.
But the point is, it's like, I think it'd be so friggin' cool, like, to have those characters and have them do like evil things.
Oh yeah.
You know, I just I just think it was so cool. So at the Volo
Auto Museum.
Auto Mall
Museum.
Whatever.
Close enough.
they have a restaurant area, and they actually have the Showbiz Pizzas characters
do.
there.
They do.
I don't know that they actually do anything.
I don't think they do.
I think they're just like
They're just there.
they're just there. But I so want them to get them working again, because they're just so creepy.
Yeah.
I
Well,
agree.
and that's
why
I
it spawned
I
it.
remember being, this was probably probably 6 years ago. We were at a carnival in Buffalo Grove, and somebody had the animatronics. It was part of they have the different rides and stuff.
Sure.
Somebody had the animatronics. They were they were creepy looking. I'll have to look through my phone at some point and find it. But I took a picture because one of them, it looked like it was ready to kill you. And it just was funny because I'm like,
awesome.
it was the original Showbiz
Yeah.
things, but they were so weathered. And that's why I'm hoping this next one, they show signs of, because maybe they could do that in the next movie is say, hey, nobody's been to this place, no security guards, no nothing for the last 15 years. So these things now are weathered or are starting to fall
But
apart.
didn't they
That's-
burn the place down at the end of the movie?
No, that was at the very end of the very last game, but it was
in the
and
movie,
it's-
though, they
in the
they
movie-
started a
Place
fire,
down.
but
But-
no,
Right.
they could've-
but also in the games there are certain characters they call Withered Bonnie or Withered Freddy or whatever, and they're more withered down of the animatronics, and that's why there's
Yeah.
multiple more
They
characters.
could go that route too. They could say, "Hey, we have these animatronics. They, it's just the animatronics or the outer shell of them. We're putting them up for auction, and now these things start going off into the U.S.
Yeah.
wherever,
Well,
or
I think
overseas for some of us."
certainly when you start getting to sorry, I'm about to sneeze.
No.
If we're professional, we'd have a sneeze button right here.
Turning your head's fine.
But I mean, I think if we got to FNAF 5 or 6, you could start doing that.
Okay.
I'm hoping that they kind of keep it. I don't know. I don't know. But because it's like, again, if we're like 12, 13 years after these kids have ultimately been taken, we can't possibly be saying that the kids are still inside.
Yeah.
I think they're saying the souls at this
Well,
point.
and the bodies.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
Like-
but it's
But-
the bodies that start smelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's food that's got to be involved. So I think that was the original thing from the FNAF game, which at least that was one of the film theory guys, Matt Pat's idea was that they originally got killed by it, but then their soul kind of took over
Yeah, and
the actual animatronic. So
yeah.
the body probably withered away, but now their soul still remains inside of
Yeah.
it. And that's where I was thinking they could turn around and make that a source of, okay, well, these things need blood now to continue. And so they start to realize that, and they start to kill people and start to realize, hey, once I give them a taste for blood, like oh, hey, we cut that one guy and now we're all the whole dream
That
thing,
would be an
which
intelligent way to approach this. Doesn't
Yes.
mean they're going to do that.
yeah. Now the dream theory, there was a book in there. He I guess that Josh Hutcherson's character Michael was reading called Dream
Right.
Theory. That was part of an actual. I guess there was a theory that they had come up with saying that all of the stuff was just a dream that Mike was
Ah.
having. And so that was kind of a nice reference to that, but that was just somebody's
cop-out.
theory.
Yeah.
Yes, and I can't stand that. That reminds me of the whole Dallas thing. Now,
Right.
granted,
Yeah.
she has no idea what I'm talking
Bobby
about.
Ewing in
but
the shower.
Yeah, it's
It was all
but
a dream.
when you think about that, I don't like when they do that where everything ends up being a dream, but that can help, I guess, explain some things. Because obviously certain animatronics can't do certain things, but.
Right.
But I really like when a movie lets you know right off the bat this is a dream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is a dream that maybe the person can't get out of, because there is still the truth that if you have the right type of dream, you can die in your dreams, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, obviously that was something that Wes Craven used to create Freddy, and that was something that I think was it Cambodia that there was people that were having nightmares and they were staying up, and that's what kind of gave him the idea for Freddy, which the idea for Freddy itself was some scary bum that lived down the street and was like staring at him, scared the shit out of him. But it's stuff like that's where I feel like Scott is on the right path. He took something that in the 80s, kind of scared us, but we weren't scared of it, but we had that in the back of our head, and I think he's kind of picking at it. But he's got so many, he's got so many people that he can reach with that, right? Like he's got the younger audience is scared because it's something that you hear thud, thud, thud coming from your left ear, and all of a sudden you close that door, and then all of a sudden it's coming from the right. That type of stuff scared the shit out of people.
Follow through with that.
He didn't in this movie, but I think once he gets free reign, because now that was his proving ground to the execs that, hey,
I agree with that.
I can fucking do this. Look, I gave them just tidbits. And look at we made over $200 million.
This could also be some sort of Final Destination thing where it's just a premonition, and then the second movie could be where everything happens, but it's worse and more gory, and that's where they bring in all that.
That would be great if he does it.
Yeah, and you don't even have to have Abby and Mike in there. Or what I would prefer they do is have Abby and Mike in there, and then Abby becomes one of them.
Because
and Mike just gets killed.
That would make more sense because in the actual his kids originally in the game, they both die except for Mike. And that's would explain why Garrett's already dead. So if they kill off Abby, that would make sense. But
why would you take a kid named Garrett anyway? Garrett is the worst name for a kid. I'm sorry.
The kid was so cute.
He deserved to die.
But honestly, how stupid can you be? Hey, this guy's talking. Now, that's the other thing is I'd be upset as the parent.
Now, how did the dad not see it? The dad was out there.
How did you not see a kid?
Now, granted, the dad did work with William, so maybe he had a whole thing to maybe try to get him to take his kid.
Well, and that's the other thing is it's like, wouldn't you recognize if the dad knew William and he sees, oh, hey, there's William. Why is he taking my kid? And why is he leaving? You know what I mean?
Or even Garrett
granted, he was making burgers, so.
But the other thing I thought was very quickly dealt with was the fact that all the way up until the point where he's talking with Vanessa, by the water or whatever.
Yeah.
Where it's you're okay, well, where's the parents?
Yeah.
And in a matter of 2 or 3 minutes, they suddenly explain away that whole situation. So the mother dies, and somehow the dad just couldn't cope with everything.
Yeah. What happened to him? Did he kill himself? What happened?
Well, he never comes back in any of the games or anything.
So the point is, why is the aunt suddenly... I guess Mike talks about the fact that she's just interested in the money that's going to come from taking care of her. But just, it's
it's convenient.
Obviously it's not much, but that's the other thing though, is it's not much money because he's not doing well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? If he was saying, oh well, I've got enough to pay for this house or something he's not doing well, so why was he so concerned about the money that she's going to be getting? Who gives a shit? Let her get the money.
So I will. So even as I said it, my brain was kind of processing this. So obviously, when you're an independent game producer, it's you probably create a little bit of backstory, just enough to be able to say, oh well, this is what my first game's going to be, and then even the second game comes along, and probably not until the third or fourth game that you start going, shit, I guess we need to put a little bit more thought behind what the backstory is to some of these characters.
Yeah, that's...
And I think now all of a sudden the movie comes around, and by the fact that we said 2014 or 2015, whatever it was, and we already referenced Willy's Wonderland. I mean, it's I'd be interested to see when the rights to the movie first were sold, and whether that, because a lot of that stuff is very public knowledge.
Yep.
To see whether then the creators of Willy's Wonderland saw that oh wow, this has just been sold. These games are selling incredibly well. Let's see how quickly we can get to market. But Willy's Wonderland was 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
I think it was 2019.
It was a while ago at this point.
So, and that's where, well, and to go even further than that, when was Banana Splits? That was probably a year or two prior to that.
Just before that.
Yeah. So I mean, that's where the sad thing is did they wait too long? I think so. honestly, even if they would have come out the same year as Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah.
But I think, honestly, Willy's Wonderland doing so well caused them to go, oh shit, we're sitting on a gold mine here. But we're not going to come out right away. Let's do this the way that we can.
So I will say, so like, couple of things with that conversation. So number one, I thought Banana Splits was ridiculous and stupid. I didn't like it at all.
Agreed.
And I was a kid that like grew up.
So so you felt the same way. I felt the same way than you guys did about Thankskilling. So okay, go ahead.
Exactly. And it's like I grew up in England watching Banana Splits on Saturday morning TV.
I did too, except for the England part.
Yeah,
in America, but still.
I loved it. Did you guys get Three Musketeers as a cartoon?
Yeah,
thing?
absolutely.
Oh my god, I love that.
I've had the candy bar.
Anyway, but so the point. So I watched the movie for Banana Splits and I thought it was ridiculous. I didn't like it at
Missed
all.
opportunity on that one.
Totally, completely.
Because they didn't have the fucking three-wheel car. Like the three-wheel car was like the coolest thing about that whole bloody show.
Well, yeah, that was a pretty cool car. Like right up there with the monkeys.
Yes.
Car. Yeah.
But I think one thing to kind of go against what you're just saying. I think one thing that obviously Scott, whatever his name is, realized about his fan base for FNAF is the fact that truly there probably is very few people that went out to see Willy's Wonderland and went out to see it because they thought that because they had any connection to Five Nights at Freddy.
Sure. Yeah.
They went to see it because of Nick Cage. They went to see it because of Chuck E. Cheese.
Yep.
That was the connection.
Sure.
Yeah.
There was. I'm not saying none.
But that's what Five Nights at Freddy's is. It's a connection to Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
No, I get it. But what I'm saying is, it's like to kind of go against what Logan just said. I mean, I think it's in reality, whilst there were still FNAF games being released, they had a inbuilt audience that was always going to go out and see those games. Like the very fact that I don't know how many games there are out now, like 8 or 9 or whatever it is. They knew that there is a fan base out there that is going to go and see pretty much fucking anything that they ever put out there.
Sure.
Yeah.
The very fact that you said earlier that on a week ago that it was like an 80% drop in viewership, and that's pretty typical.
Well, but that's hard too because of the
movies.
Peacock side.
Yes.
If they could say, well, it dropped 80% in the theaters, but it's gone up, 60% in Peacock because
they don't announce that stuff. I mean, that's always the problem with the streaming networks. And you're correct because it's like I saw it obviously on a TV, and there was nothing about that movie that I felt that I needed to see in a movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's
Agreed.
the 80%.
Yep.
Is the fact that it's like there are certain movies when I'll always see a Star Wars movie in the theater. I'll always see it. Indiana Jones.
So, based on that logic, would you say then if they came out with an R-rated FNAF, would you go see that in the theaters?
Now that I've seen the PG-13 version, potentially. Potentially. I mean, I think it's.
I agree.
Again, ultimately, I enjoyed FNAF. I just think
it wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
It was missing.
It was just missing something.
Yeah.
And I think the something is there wasn't enough gore. There wasn't enough scare. It came so close so many times that made you want to continue watching it.
Yeah.
And I think there was enough of a storyline there that made you intrigued to continue watching it.
Sure.
And I like Josh Hutcherson. I love Matthew Lillard in almost anything he does. And I thought the cop was cute. And but it just didn't quite. It didn't quite get me there.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Same thing.
And that's the downside of it. I think the upside though is that he can only go up from here. But I hope he didn't lose enough of the viewership. But I think I think a lot of people probably like it.
He knows
enough.
he's getting enough of a fan base,
And that's the
so
thing
they
is,
will come up with something.
this was more of like an executive thing of, hey, you guys wanted this movie. I gave you just a tidbit, and look, this is just a little bit of the tip of the iceberg, and look at what you guys got. You got
Agreed.
probably about $200 million out of this. Now, we bump it up a notch on the next, because that's the horror trope, right? First one shows a few killings, moves on. Second one, you got to have more blood. Right, and then the third one, and so on and so forth. I mean, and I wouldn't doubt he's probably going to do probably a trilogy of some sort. This is
I
just
would
me
assume a
speculating.
trilogy.
And then the rest will be probably spin-offs. You'll have probably TV series and things like that.
Right.
Whether those are like FX type series, because you're going to have to because of the blood and guts
Right,
and what's
right,
going to be
right,
into
right.
those. But yeah, I think he's got enough of a backstory on that he could go that route.
I think to exactly that point, I think it really is. I think
I hope it
if
doesn't
they
turn
then
out.
announce that the next film is going to be R-rated, I think that goes through the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're talking possibly 100, like 3 to 500.
Totally.
Yeah.
Because I think that there is, again, we've said it multiple times. I think there is enough of a fan base that's at that age that could totally go and see an R-rated movie. Again, knowing that it's probably going to be R-rated because of the gore, rather than anything else. That I think all the money's there for the taking. I really do. Just the very fact that a PG-13 did. I agree. I think $250 million is probably what it's going to end at.
Which is what, 10 times its budget, or
Yeah,
12 times its budget. So
Yeah,
I mean,
even if you do marketing, it's probably
Yeah.
still like
yeah.
7 or 8 times the budget.
so either Scott's spot on with what he's thinking, or he's just kind of shooting in the dark and was just hoping to get.
I feel like Scott's not the type to just kind of go for whatever. He's doing this for a reason. That's what he did with all his games.
So I think the thing will be interesting, and I think you touched on it just now, also is the fact that I think what would be really cool is if you do stuff, as long as there's enough, like, lore, L-O-R-E,
It sounded like law to me, LAW, but that's okay.
in it, I think they could go the Robert Kirkman way of having a TV series, but you'd have to be able to expand it beyond Freddy Fazbear's arcade.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you're
You know,
gonna have to. I think they might even have to do that on the next one.
Yeah.
Is, move things to a.
That's why
you
they
know-
moved to the security breach, which was the mall.
Right. Exactly.
So have another place, and like I mentioned earlier too. Maybe they take we had some animatronics left over in the first Freddy
Yep.
Fazbear's, and we moved them to this
Warehouse.
one place.
So
they
someone-
sat in a
some-
warehouse.
someone else
Ooh,
got
I
one as
can.
well.
I'm starting up my
Yeah.
own business, and
Yeah,
look,
yeah,
these
yeah.
are super cheap.
That's
Who
right.
cares why they're super
Right.
cheap?
But they're all
found them on eBay.
referenced.
Yeah, exactly.
They're
yeah.
all referencing the first 5 original characters. Like,
Right.
there's Toy Chica, there's Toy Bonnie, there's Withered Bonnie, there's Withered, and it's just all
And then
references
you could
to
just
the
throw
first.
in Chucky for the hell of it, and and
At
Megan,
that point,
and
yeah.
then you start having all the animatronics just start.
Yeah.
There you go, free for all.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'll be the third one. Anyway. All right.
That's
So,
what-
Cool. I think.
so the funny thing is we've mentioned Thankskilling, and that's about as much as we got out
Because
of it
that's all it deserves.
because that's all it deserves, according
Yes,
to them.
I think that's significant.
I think
about
it's fun.
What
Check it
we
out.
talked about in the
Don't check
finishing
it
the
out.
bottle.
Don't check it out. Stop. But
We are over an
Save
hour
yourself.
again because we love talking about movies. But
we haven't done it in a while.
hopefully, yeah, it's been a while. We haven't chatted, so
Well,
I'm happy
for
with
them,
it.
it's been a week.
I know they don't understand.
You don't,
Bastards.
you
been
don't
a
understand what we
while.
go through to give you the art that we create for our 61
Let's put it-
subscribers.
Yes. Hey, Ben.
61. I'm impressed.
I'm happy. I know that's a good thing, and
Better than the 5 we started with
Yeah.
last week.
hey,
And I think that was all of us.
yeah.
Right.
Tink.
By the way,
Anyway.
am I the only one who watches them and likes the videos? Nobody else fucking likes the videos? Why don't you fucking get on there and like the videos?
Well,
Yeah, let's do that.
we like the the only people that like the videos are the Indian people that want us to.
Oh, stop.
To get more subscriptions.
Yep. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna go for this one.
Yeah.
I go.
Anyway, so all right, so we had good reviews on these two. Not so good review on the Jefferson Ocean Voyage 27. Voyage 27, correct?
And
27.
let's just say,
Cask strength.
out of what we saw here, although I guess we knew what we kind of knew what the Russell was going to be like. out of all of them, if we saw them independently, this is the one we had the highest hopes
I'm
for.
so disappointed.
And probably the least result for. Well, like I would probably actually rate the Brothers Bond
and Russell's, both of those.
Oh,
would be above
Russell's
this.
absolutely for me. I would have that every day of the week.
Okay.
But yeah, I was really disappointed with the Ocean.
Yeah, I agree.
right.
That makes me very sad.
All right, folks. Like, comment, subscribe, please. Let us know, and if there's any other movie suggestions you have, please definitely let us know that. If there's bourbons out there,
and especially if you have a movie selection that you think would pair well together.
yeah,
Unless
give
you're
us
Kyle.
both the movie
Unless
and
you're
the
Kyle,
pair.
because fuck you, Kyle.
Kyle. Are we ever going to have him on?
What-
Just to
That
we should
would-
just have him on and just
that would be
browbeat the whole
cool.
time.
He won't show up.
He
Oh,
won't
that's
show up.
true.
He never shows up. He never shows up.
We should just put the microphone up one
Right.
episode and be like, Kyle's supposed to be here, even though we
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
even tell him.
It's open to you, Kyle, but you won't show up.
So come the new year, we do hope to do live events again in this fair establishment.
Yeah.
And we're just been so busy because of
Look
This is
toward
the busy season.
Halloween.
Look
Yeah.
toward December.
December into January. We have to clear this space up.
It may take a couple of months.
What you don't see behind the character is just a lot of crap.
Camera, not character.
Character?
You
Did I
said
say
behind the
character?
You did.
Character.
It sounded
Sorry,
like
this is-
character.
This is finishing the bottle. I warned you.
Amen, sister.
But so we do want to do live events again, and we do, we want the interactivity of having a live audience here, rather than just like us people, because we get bored of each other.
I don't know though. We've talked for a lot today.
We
which,
did.
which is good.
Anyway,
Thank you very much for
we
coming,
love you
everybody.
all. We love you all. We really do. All 61 of you on YouTube.
Hopefully more this time.
And however many are on the other audio versions.
We don't
Yeah.
have anybody. Thank you very much. See the social media.
Social media.
Around here, it's gonna go over
Right
their
over
faces.
Mia's face.
Yeah,
Yep.
right
There
on
it is.
it.
Right
There you go.
to there.
Yep,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank
Love
very
you,
much.
Gaul.
Come to the next one.
Love you, Gaul. What I said, love you, Gaul. What does that? How does that mean?
I don't.
You don't know
I
what
think
the
your
fuck you're
mouth
doing.
is just
Yeah, he's
going.
Love
It's
you
okay.
all.
There you go.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.